Haha, you are now being recorded. So thank you all so much for being here on the third Friday, the third series of the Virtual Presentation Friday. I'm really excited for this one. It is the Virtual Presentation Friday, an hour of tranquility, demonstration, and education, which I'm really excited about, trying to change things up a bit. We always say that our residents, our seniors need this kind of experience for their well-being and for their activities. And so I figured, why not also us be educated on how to use this experience for their own communities, but also we as salespeople could use some uplifting tranquility as well, and some reality checks as well. So I figured, why not do this? And I have our very own Mary Dorse, who is a violinist. So she will be sharing with that. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Micah Hunt. I work for Garrett Realty Partners. Not as a realtor. I'm not here to sell anything. I help seniors try to downsize into something smaller. And in this pandemic that we're in, my job has slowed down quite a bit, which no surprise. But I wanted to do something that was unique and still kept us connected and still learning on new aspects and new things. So I've been doing these now for 3 weeks, 3 Fridays rather. And I also host a networking group during the week on Mondays in Richmond, Tuesdays for the South Side. For those of you in Richmond, I'm talking about South Side, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, Norfolk, and Chesapeake, not your South Side in Richmond, because I know there's 2 different types. So be aware of that. And then I do one on Wednesdays for the Peninsula, and then one in Williamsburg on Thursdays. So pretty busy guy, keeping everybody connected virtually. And so that's all I have. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mary Dorse, who will be sharing her experience and her what she's going to be providing for us today. So I will now mute myself.
Hi, everybody. So as Micah said, I'm Mary Dorse. I'm going to try to figure out how to share my screen here with you. Bear with me just a moment. I'm a little new to the whole Zoom game. Here we go. Okay, so today's presentation, I just wanted to kind of start off letting you guys know sort of what to expect. This is a little different format than a lot of our Zoom presentations. So I just want to kind of go over, what are the benefits of music for seniors, especially those seniors in the community setting, but also those that are in the home setting. I have some tips for selecting the type of music to perform for seniors to promote the most engagement. And then I'm just going to demonstrate kind of what I do just to give you guys some ideas. Obviously, I play the violin, so it's going to be a little bit different if you, if you are or know someone who is a piano player or a singer or what have you. So these are just some ideas to get you guys thinking creatively, hopefully, and hopefully spark some great ideas on your end too. So before we get into the presentation, I just wanted to go ahead and start off with the national anthem.
Mr. Beck, can I help you? Hey.
so we will go ahead and get started. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah, okay. All right, so just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about me and kind of where I'm coming from with all this. So I have worked with seniors since 2013. I've done a few different things. I've worked in home care, I've worked in the assisted living setting, and I currently work in hospice as the community liaison with Frida H. Gordon Hospice and Palliative Care. I started playing the violin. I had to actually do the math today, 24 years ago. And all I can say is I started very young. So I wanted to just kind of go over some of the benefits for seniors, and I think I went just a little too far here. So music plays an important role for everybody, not just seniors, people of all ages, and it can promote relaxation, improve productivity, and lower stress. I think we all have had experience with how soothing music can be or how it can be energizing. I know when I go to do a workout, it's a lot different when I have some energizing music rather than when I'm just staring at the treadmill. So for a lot of our seniors, not all, but many of our seniors do have memory issues, dementia, Alzheimer's, that type of thing. So music is very powerful in that population to stimulate feelings of well-being, to bring back memories, trigger positive emotions. So even those who have dementia that maybe have trouble with more of the recent events, that nostalgia that comes from music can be really powerful in helping kind of ground them and helping them reminisce and you know, feel some positive experiences and really improve their quality of life. So music can also, as I mentioned before, can definitely be energizing. It can encourage exercise and movement. For our seniors and for people of any age, walking, dancing, stretching, working out is a lot more fun when there is music involved. You know, you got to pick the right type of music, obviously, something that's going to get people kind of pumped. If you're utilizing it for encouraging exercise and movement. But music can definitely be very powerful for that purpose as well. There's a lot of research being done right now about improving memory through music. I put a couple of links down here, and I have all of my links and resources at the end for you as well. But there is definitely some research being done about possibly preventing or assisting in preventing dementia, although there's a lot we don't know. But at the end of the day, what we do definitely know for sure is that for patients with dementia, we can see that it lifts their spirits. It just makes things better and is a really positive, mood improving type of thing. And now increasing isolation. This is a very timely topic with coronavirus and everything being locked down, things of that nature. I know a lot of our seniors were already feeling isolated before all of that happened, and this has definitely picked that up a notch for a lot of our folks. A lot of our facilities are not allowing visitors, and you know, for good reason, but it definitely is taking a toll. I think anybody who works in assisted living or nursing homes can attest to this. Definitely seeing an uptick in senior isolation for those residents. And even for our home patients, or seniors that are in their own homes, a lot of them are, you know, trying to be careful, not to go out, not to have people come in and out. Some of them are tech savvy, some aren't. So they may not have access to things like Zoom and FaceTime and all those good things. So music can just be a way to kind of open up new avenues of communication and to help combat some of that isolation. Some tips for selecting music when you're doing any kind of program for seniors. These are some great tips that I found from the Alzheimer's Association that kind of mirror my experience. You want music that's enjoyable and familiar. You want it consistent with the mood you want to encourage. So if you're, doing an exercise program, you want more, upbeat music. If you want, to have something calming in the middle of the afternoon, you're going to want something that's a little bit more low key and relaxing. It's always great to have pieces that are good for clapping, singing, and dancing along. These are some of my personal favorites. Now, obviously, with me being a violinist, that plays into a lot of what I do, but just some general things to keep in mind. I love to do patriotic songs. I feel like they're songs that everybody knows, and they definitely evoke that a lot of emotion and just positive feelings about our country and all that. A lot of our seniors are veterans or have served in the military. They maybe have been married to someone who served in the military, so they definitely tend to hear a lot of nostalgia. I love fiddle music just because it kind of gets toes tapping and makes people want to get up and dance. And I also like to throw in a few popular classical pieces. I try to pick those pieces that people are familiar with. I've never done a concert for seniors where they said, "Can you play something I've never heard before?" They always ask, do you know this song? Do you know that song? People like to hear music that they're familiar with and maybe haven't heard in a while. Brings back memories. So I would just encourage anybody that's doing any kind of presentation for seniors to try to think of things that are a little bit more familiar that people will recognize and enjoy. So I like to say, if a piece could get them either singing, dancing, which could just be tapping their toes, or reminiscing, those tend to be, in my experience, the most enjoyable pieces. And I wanted to give you guys some ideas for ways to find performers, especially for those of you that are in a community congregate care setting like assisted living or nursing homes. Myself, I've worked with a hospice agency. I just do this kind of as a volunteer. So a lot of hospice agencies do have, they have volunteers. Some of them even have music therapists. Some home care agencies also have folks on their teams who will do this kind of thing. It's just part of their community outreach. I know I did when I was in home care. So those are some avenues to look at, and reach out to your local hospice or home care agencies to see if they do have anyone that has talents that they'd like to share with your residents. Of course, your volunteers, and even staff members. I know when I worked in assisted living, as soon as they found out that I played the violin, I got put on a monthly schedule to come and do entertainment, even though I was the marketing person. So, utilize the hidden talents that your staff may have that they might want to share. So just to give you guys an idea of kind of the format that we've been doing with everything being shut down. So before all the shutdowns happened, what we would basically do is, we'd schedule a time, we'd have a big group of residents that would come in. It might be 20 people sitting in a room in the activities room, and I'd play the concert. It was easy. So with people not being allowed to come in, we've had to get a little bit creative. This right here, this is a couple of photos of some of the outdoor concerts that I've done. And luckily, this is a time of the year that is fairly nice weather most of the time. So we've just tried to schedule things for days that are not pouring down rain, and we've been lucky so far. We haven't had to reschedule any that we've planned. I would suggest if you're doing an outdoor concert, plan it roughly about a week out so you can have a sense of what the weather's going to be that day. This was a really cool experience that we had. This was actually at a private care home. We had a veteran on our service who was a Navy SEAL, and it was his birthday. He had just come on to services with us. We wanted to do something special to honor him, and of course it was pouring down rain that day, and we didn't want to reschedule because we wanted to surprise him for his birthday. So the owner of the private care home put up an umbrella for me out back so I wouldn't get rained on. And those gentlemen that you see there are actually former Navy SEALs themselves that came to do a ceremony for this gentleman, offered him a pin that they had to have someone take inside for him. And you see them out there with their umbrellas and all that. So the weather tried to conspire against us, but we persevered, and we made a really special birthday surprise for this gentleman. So definitely one of the highlights of the things that I've done recently. One benefit for your communities, in addition to the benefits for your residents, is that this is just great recognition for your communities that you're doing something different. So, you know, a lot of times the news will pick up these kinds of stories. So as you see over here, I'm being interviewed by Wavy TV 10, and I was on the local news for about 2 minutes. So I'm a bit of a local celebrity. I wanted to go ahead and just kind of play this short clip for you guys. Let's see if I can get this to load here. And everybody can see the screen right here. Still loading, bear with me. If it takes too long, we'll just skip it. I'll send you guys the link, but oh, here we go. It's just about 2 minutes long.
Is it working or is it?
Can you guys hear?
It's not doing anything. Not for
Oh,
me.
really?
Yeah, it's just staring at the screen you have. You might want to just share the link.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that was definitely pushing the limits of my technical expertise there, so I apologize. But I will send you guys a link to watch that video if you are interested. But really, the reason that I bring this up is that, you know, like I said, in addition to the benefits for your residents, it can also be great PR for you guys as communities as well. So without further ado, I would like to just go ahead and demonstrate a few pieces for y'all. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here for a minute. Okay, so I just have a few pieces that I'd like to go through, and then just to give you guys a sense of what it's like when I do one of these concerts and give you some ideas for things you can do with your seniors. And then I'll go ahead and open it up to Q&A. So that was Country Roads, one of my favorite pieces. Did everybody hear okay for that? Okay, awesome. So this next piece, you know, I love my patriotic songs. This is America the Beautiful. one of my favorite things to do is to have people go ahead and sing along as I'm playing. It's definitely more engaging and a lot more fun. So my next piece here, this is just an example of a classical piece that a lot of folks know, at least a lot of our seniors recognize this and will kind of hum along with me while I play. This one is called Moretz. This next piece is the Battle Hymn of the Republic. One of the a little quick story behind this. One of the communities that I was playing this at, we had a gentleman who was he has very severe dementia, pretty much nonverbal. I don't know if he had spoken more than a couple words at a time. He was considered nonverbal from his dementia, and the activities director, this was before COVID and all that, the activities director had pulled me aside and said, hey, you know, we have this nonverbal gentleman. He's in his room. Do you mind just coming out, you know, after you play for the whole group? You come just play a piece or two in his room? And I said, sure. So I came out and played Battle Hymn of the Republic. And when I got to the refrain, he started singing perfectly along with the Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. It just gave me chills. So this is one of my favorite songs just because of that. here is a little fiddle tune. It's called the Irish Washerwoman. And I've noticed with this one, it's very hard for people to stop tapping their toes along with this one. And I've actually had a few people get up and start dancing the jig. I have one more piece for y'all before we open up for questions. This is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Well, I hope that this gave you guys some ideas or some education or just a little bit of relaxation for your afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again just to show you guys some resources that I've put together for you. So this is just where you can find me, my contact information, and I'll make sure that Mike could get the copy of these slides to send out to you guys. This is my company Instagram and Facebook, but I do put a lot of stuff from things that I do violin-wise up there, so you could definitely see what I'm up to. This is my cell number and my email. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions at all. Love to hear from you. And these are just some resources that I've put together. So we have a lot of the information here was from this first link, the Elder Care Alliance. They had a really good blog post. A few other links that can be helpful. I love this one here from the Alzheimer's Association about Alzheimer's and music therapy. And then this bottom link here is the news story where I played over at Beth Shalom for the outdoor concert. So with all of that, just had a joke for y'all. How do you tune a violin for bluegrass? Just got to fiddle with it. And I do have a lot of people ask me what's the difference between a violin and a fiddle, so decided to throw that in there. I'm just going to pull up the, Mike, are there any questions in the chat?
Well, can you stop sharing? That way I can see.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That'd be helpful. All right, we're going to open it up to a few questions. And if anybody has any questions for Mary in regards to her music or how you can implement this in your community at all. Kay, that was a very open laugh, I have to say. Yeah, we saw that. That was a very rambunctious laugh. One question that I see somebody asking is, can you play a fiddle tune?
Yes. So Irish Washerwoman was a fiddle tune, but I can play another one if y'all are
speak slower and then.
Sorry. Sorry, my microphone's not too great. Yeah, so Irish Washerwoman was one of the fiddle tunes, the one that I just played, and I can certainly play another fiddle tune if y'all would like some more fiddle music.
I think I see thumbs up all around, so if
Okay.
you don't mind, go ahead.
Sure.
And in case nobody could see, we actually had a few people dancing to the Irish music on our screen. So she's like, oops, nobody saw that. Yes, we saw that, Kay. Thank you for that.
Played for seniors, and you always get that one guy that's like, well, why can't you dance and play the violin at the same time? I'm like, well, not quite that. You don't want to see that.
Not yet, not yet, not yet. So does anybody else have any questions or comments? Please raise your hand for me or for Mary, and we'd love to take any questions that anybody has at all. I'm not seeing too many, but I see quite a few comments that people have loved this, that you've even brought a tear to some people's eyes with your music. I know for a lot of you, this has been challenging times. So having something like this, even if it's just to break away from the norm, to hear something like that to bring you back to reality, it always is helpful. And a tear does not mean that you're weak. A tear means that you are human, and that it's okay to do that and bring that part of you out, because it means it touched you. And that's what music does, as it has been proven. So I am very grateful for Mary taking some time out of her day and to share her music with us. Yes, it is. It is a universal language, Tiffany. So does anybody else have a question, or even just you have a violinist here, so I'm sure she would be okay with another song of choice that you would like to hear. I'm going to put.
If I know it, I'll play it.
Play it. I'm going to put her on the spot because this is a chance, and like I said, I've been seeing the chats, and that everybody's been really appreciative of this. It's been a crazy week for a lot of us, so please put a request, but keep them, to where she knows the song. Roberta, I see you came off mute. Would you like to make a recommendation?
No, I just have a question for Mary. Mary, do you ever play with a group? Are there a group of violinists that get together and maybe perform?
So I've been living in this area about 5 years, and I haven't really done anything as a group down here. I've definitely played in community orchestras and things like that. I know the Virginia Symphony Orchestra. I'm not a part of it, but they've done a lot of things for seniors and for communities where they've come out and done outdoor things as well. So they could definitely be a good resource if you're looking for more of a chamber group or that kind of thing.
Yeah, I actually had the pleasure of watching you at another facility that I was working with, and you were playing for a resident who was in transition, and I stood at the doorway and just watched you, and it was one of the most beautiful things I had ever seen.
So much.
You're welcome.
So thank you for that, Roberta. I know that always makes Mary feel better, knowing that someone has seen her in action at a community, seeing the hearts that she's touching, but I'm seeing the hearts that Mary touched even on this screen. The Brady Bunch screen. Somebody, Mary asked, in the garden.
I don't know that one, sorry.
Becky, I'm sorry, Becky. And then Tiffany, I should say I'm surprised by this, but I'm not. Any pop tunes that you might know?
So this one, sort of a pop tune. Hallelujah.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Wow.
Amazing Grace. I just went right into it.
And then another tearjerker for some. Somebody asked "Amazing Grace."
I just did that one.
Oh, you did? Sorry, I thought you did.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah. No, yeah, I just saw it come in the chat, so I just went straight into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even. I'll pay more attention. I was in it.
You got all kinds of things. You're running the show here.
Don Michelle had a very good question for you, and she wanted to know if you can share a specific story of a time you have seen music really move one of your clients.
Yeah, so the one story that I had shared about the gentleman who started singing when he was nonverbal, that's definitely one of the things that I remember the most. I've definitely had residents who were very disengaged and almost looked like they were kind of slumped over and sleeping. And then I start playing and they just start singing along, or they become more alert and they're watching what's going on. So, you know, I've just seen a lot of those kinds of things, but my gentleman that started singing "Glory, Glory, Hallelujah" is definitely one of my favorite specific ones that I've come across.
And then somebody was asking. I'm gonna repeat their comment. What's that song about the devil, fast fiddler type of music?
The Devil
So
Went
they're
Down to
really trying to
Georgia.
challenge you, and I was like, "Is it the devil went down to Georgia?"
I'll learn that for next time.
Yeah, I was ready to say like that's a song to really capture, I think. But does anybody else have any other questions or suggestions? I do want to be courteous of everybody's time. I do feel like this was a powerful moment, and somebody just, of course, when I say that, now everybody's coming in. Something classical.
Okay.
Wow, my goodness. So good. I had a question that came up. Are you based on the South Side, which I do know, yes, but they also wanted to know if you can go to the peninsula. And I know that you also go on the peninsula as well, correct?
Yes. So typically I would do on the peninsula, I mainly do Hampton and Newport News. I don't go super far up here, but I do go out onto the peninsula to those cities.
So Susan, I hope that helps. But yes, she is on the South Side, but we'll go to as far west as Newport News. So I hope that helps answer your question.
And if you're looking for somebody to go farther than that, I know there are some other hospice agencies that have music therapists that have been doing things and chaplains that play instruments. So if I can't help you, I would definitely try to point you in the direction of somebody who can.
And just so everybody knows, I will be sending this. I've recorded this, and I'm going to stop that now, as I think everybody is, for the most part, done with their questions or sharing things. So maybe. But I will be sharing this recording with all of you, and also the emails for Mary and how to get in touch with her and other resources that she has also shared. And then and contact information as well. So if anybody wants to connect outside of this, they can. So I hope that helps everybody. And I know that I have really enjoyed this segment today. I think a lot of others have as well. So it was a great way to take a break, but still work. Because I know a lot of you probably are sidetracking and multitasking, doing other things, but still listening to this or dancing. Some of you were dancing. So yes, a lot of people have agreed. They thank you, Mary, for sharing your experience, your talent with us today. Hopefully this is something that we can continue on in some aspect, maybe host a concert for even caregivers specifically. So
Yeah, absolutely.
maybe even do for those that are caregivers, and it's just for the caregivers. That's something that maybe Mary and I and whoever else wants to participate in that. I always love doing more things than I should. But it's a joy to see the smiles and see the enjoyment on everybody's face on this virtual screen. So with that, don't feel like you have to leave yet, but I'm going to say adieu because I'm going to stop the recording. So thank you all so much for being here, and hopefully see you all next week.